Hello, this is Sean. Welcome to The Free Life, and I want to talk to you today about the struggles we go through and how important they are. Oftentimes, as we try to walk out our life, we go through serious struggles, different degrees of struggles. Some struggles we're just dealing with, children or our spouse or, relationships. Other things seem like they just come in like a flood and a hammer. But all things are able to be worked into my life for something good if I can actually find out what that is. Now, one of the things that we fail to do oftentimes is realize what struggles, what these things in our life that come to us, what they actually reveal and how important that is. Okay, now, if you don't know, I have a son, he's still my son. He had a tumor in his head when he was a freshman in high school. Now, during this time, for a long time, we didn't realize it. He was saying he's having headaches, and just by pure willpower, he was holding himself together. And so this one day, he comes to us and he says, I'm having these bad headaches. They're so bad, I can't even, focus. It just hurts so bad. We didn't have health insurance. And so, we called up our family doctor and he said, you need to get him to the ER and have him tested. And so we go to the ER, and I used to be in respiratory therapy, and so I knew about medical stuff. And so the nurse, they did a CAT scan, and then after this CAT scan, we're waiting in the emergency room. You know how that is. You're just kind of hanging out, just waiting for some news from somebody to tell you something. And while we're there, nurse comes in, and she has this medication for pain. And the pain medicine was really strong medicine. And she comes in and she says, I've got this for you. This will help with the pain. And I ask her what it is. And she tells me, and instantly I looked into her eyes and I knew something was serious. Because you don't give that pain medicine unless it's serious. And he usually would ask first about, hey, do you want this? She wasn't even saying, she was like, not even do you want it? She was just wanting to give it to him. And she knew I knew something. And she said, the doctor will be here in a minute. And a few minutes later, he shows up and he shows us a CAT scan. He puts that thing up on the wall with a light behind it. And he says, your son has a brain tumor. And we are sending him over to Children's Hospital. The doctor, the neurologist will meet you there. And it was like 8 o'clock at night. And so we run over there. And during these next several hours, I just watched my son fall apart. They put him in the hospital. They said Monday we got surgery scheduled for the morning, but if something happens over the weekend, we'll do emergency surgery. And watching my son fall apart, the fears, everything associated with that, it was rough. It was really rough. I even got to the point where during the surgery, they were going to call every so often, and they stopped calling. And it just got, I thought I was going to lose my son. I honestly did. And I got to the place where I was like, okay, God, if you want to take him, you can have him. I trust you with my son. Alive or dead, I trust you with my son. And it was it was within 5 minutes they walked out. I felt a peace at that moment when I gave it to God. And 5 minutes later they walked out. I come to find out every time they put him upside down, because they had to work from the back of his head, his blood pressure would start dropping. And so they're having serious complications trying to get this thing out. And that's why they stopped calling. That's why it took so long. He spent a month in the hospital. Every night I was there. I was able to be there. I had lost my job just before it happened. So I had no job. We had no health insurance. And I had a job. I met a guy who I knew from the past who said, you know what? There's a job waiting for you as soon as you're done here. And so I walked out of that hospital with my son, and 2 days later I was working a new job. God provided through the whole thing. But this is what I found out: what I didn't have in me. I found out what I did have in me. And the struggles you go through, they reveal things in our life. They reveal where we're at. They reveal what has been built into our life so far. And they also reveal what's not in our life. And the enemy wants to define for you what this means. He wants to make these struggles all about what's not there, and you can't have it, and you're not going to make it, and things are never going to work out, and see, it's always been like this, it always will be like this, God's not on your side. And I'm telling you, it's not true. We have to plug into something and let an understanding come over us that God is on our side. And it starts with us recognizing that the struggles are an opportunity for me to learn something about myself. Don't let those go by. Everything that's happening to us reveals things to us. And more often than not, they reveal I need God more. That I need something in my life. When I go through situations in family where there's just, it's just, it's revealing that I need something. See, it's not revealing they have a problem. It reveals I need something so that I can give something that I don't really have right now. And if I could give that thing that I really need to have, it won't be like this. So consider that. I'm going to pick this up next time on how God uses the opportunities. You have an amazing day, and know that God is on your side. He loves you, and He's using these things in our life to reveal things for us. We'll see you next time.